Hello, Peter. Nice to see you again. Today it's only us.
Hi, Armin. No guests tonight,
It
today.
didn't work out. We had two attempts with our friend from Peru, with
Yeah.
Jorge, but it didn't work out. So we have to make a podcast, only us two.
Yes, I think he is fighting the criminality
Yeah.
in Lima or in Peru. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
busy shooting gangsters, I guess.
Yeah.
He has no time.
We have to accept that it's no problem. We will get him one day into the show and then it's fine.
We will get him.
Yeah, but today it's only us and we will talk about some interesting things, I guess, right?
So I hope our viewers are not bored or so if
Yeah.
just we are talking.
Yeah, I mean, when you always have some guests from Japan also, then the views went up. The video was quite good
With
with our
Munihiro.
Japanese guest. Yeah, with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Munihiro was interesting, and even with Petra was the second one was good.
Yes,
Our
yes.
interest is here, but now
Old,
it's only us two old grumpy guys. Most probably
old,
everybody.
with Petra, it was very nice. All the feminists got in. They
Yeah,
went.
yeah, of course,
They loved her female
hmm
warrior stuff, and
of course.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but not to bore our auditory, we plan to put in a new feature, and it's called how the 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 book of no not the book of the month, the knife of the month,
A week.
of the week. Oh, I'm sorry,
Knife of the week.
knife of the week.
Because we are both like knife freaks too, and we have a lot of knives. So we will start now talking about our favorite knives once in
As
every.
as long as it's not the night of the week, but the knife of the week, it's okay.
Or the nights in Malta, but don't get me started with this crap now.
Lonely nights in Malta.
No, the nights, the nights.
The nights, the Maltese
Yeah.
Maltese nights.
They locked us down. I'm now feel like Alcatraz here. It's a
Mal-
rock, it's an island, and it's a prison.
Malcatraz.
Malcatraz, yeah, exactly.
Malcatraz.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I know you're a kind of knife fetishist. You only get hot when you have knives in your surrounding you and so on. So, what's your favorite knife?
Can I put the mirror down? I think you were talking about yourself, but it's fine. So I simply like practical blades because I always need them when I do whatever unboxing. You need a knife to cut the cardboard open. You always need a knife.
Unboxing a new girlfriend.
And
Okay.
the thing is, I think there is no medication for that. So we have to deal with this. So audience, please, they can. It's like it is. Yes, knife of the week. So let's get it. Let's get started. My first knife is from my friend, a Facebook friend from Finland. And
you have, sorry to interrupt you, have more than one knife?
Yeah, today one knife a week.
Okay.
Next week we show another knife.
So you have to buy one because you have just one.
No, I have a whole cardboard box down there full. So it's enough for a year of podcast.
Me too. I have a whole drawer full of knives.
Yeah.
Not counting the folding knives.
Just I have a lot of folding knives because they are very practical for everyday carry. So that's why I always have everyday carry. I always have one with me, but this one I will show another time. It's not my favorite one. I start with my favorite knives. And one of my all-time favorite is from my friend Tero Kotavuopio. He's from Finland. And he is such an amazing guy.
Wow.
You need to see that we get this El Puco knife.
Yeah.
And he made it, of course, usually they are longer, but he made a blade that I don't have problems with the Maltese law because they should not be longer than 8 centimeters. Otherwise, you can't have it around. Of course, it would look better with the original length blade. But this is one of my... Look at this. There's an archer on it. You see that?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Angelica Hörnig's archer.
This is a bit nicer, yeah. And then the handle is bone, I guess, and wood, full tongue. And this thing is sharp. This is a knife I used a lot, but I never had to sharpen it again. It still holds the blade like crazy. And this is just an awesome knife.
Oh, wow.
It's simply for everyday carry, a little too bulky for me to have it in a trouser pocket. So that's why I don't have it always with me. But
And it's a Damascus blade, I see, no?
It's a Damascus, yeah. It's a kind of Damascus style blade, yes.
Yeah. Oh, looks very nice. Looks very nice.
The blade is really this. I still can.
Yes, and
still the first. Still the first. I'd never sharpen it, but you still can shave yourself.
And you know, I know you're not a hunter, but with a knife of that size and that shape, you can do everything in hunting. You can skin. You can kill a deer in stabbing in the neck and so on. It looks like a great knife. The only drawback, I love this Finnish and Nordic knives. The only drawback they have is they have no hand guard. No,
yeah, they easily.
Yeah.
But this, you can hold it quite good, so it's a solid grip. But of course, when you need to be careful, so there is no hand protection. But it's a poker knife, so they don't have this usually.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome knife. I love it.
Looks very nice. Looks very nice.
So now you.
So that's, I would say that's really my favorite knife. It's that old Marbles knife. It's a US made knife and very old school, old style. And what I really like, it's not bulky. It's kind of it has an elegant leather grip and a little handguard here. And I love the blade. It's wonderful. It's
a nice
really
grind.
wonderful. And you see, it's grinded like out to zero. It's not a hollow grind or something or an X grind. You can make it razor sharp. You can shave with that knife, and it's kind of big size. You can do everything. I really love this knife. And yes.
Where did you get it from?
A guy from my village. He made the hunting permit, and he had this knife, and he said he loves this knife, but he's so unhappy because he would like to have a knife with a stag handle, with a deer stag handle. And so I said, oh, well, if we can trade, I have one for you. And I was really amazed to get this. And he was also happy. So I don't drew him over the table. He was also happy. And that's and I don't know if the other persons, our viewers, know it. You are a kind of Karl May or Bessie comic book. And that comic books we had in our youth, and they had knives like that. That Western Man and that.
Yeah, when I was young, I read Lasseter.
Oh yeah.
One of these, that was a Western guy, and there was this small one.
I understand.
Groschenromane was.
Yeah.
I read a few. It was quite.
Yeah, of course. Or G.F. Unger was also.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, exactly.
That were nice Western. How you call them? They are called pulp fiction, in reality. Yeah. But I talked about the comic books where you have drawn knives, where the authors draw knives, and they were like that.
Nice.
I always have it in my writing desk here. I love this knife. Yes, and we wanted to keep this feature, so in every show we show the knife of the week. So next week we will show another knife.
Good for me. I still have a few to show. Nothing so fancy. I said I don't have hunting blades or something. It's always a little. Getting even stuff here is not so easy, but it's fine.
It don't depends. It don't depends.
Then you are done, and then we need to change the topic now. You read in the comments that people I don't know. I don't know what you think and how you read it, but I think people are not so interested in our archery wisdom at all.
Yes, I got this from the comments. They say you don't know anything about archery, and
exactly.
and you're just talking shit about everything. And yeah, I don't know. What's your idea about?
Yeah, maybe we should bring a bit more of the stuff where we really have a knowledge where we are. I mean, you and me, we are these, how do we call it, full-bred journalists.
Yeah.
I mean, we have, of course, some knowledge where we can talk about, right? Want to go there?
Yes, of course. Every time, if it's necessary, we can go back to archery.
Yeah, exactly.
And
just in case, but as you see, there is no question about archery in the comments. I was checking it for the show today.
Yeah.
Nobody has any question, you know, about tell us about arrows or string or maintenance, nothing, or how to carry, nothing. No question. So I think
they just say, tell us more about your conspiracies.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is how it looks like. Okay, and because we listen,
I have this is an tinfoil lined rebel head.
No.
So
it looks not so bad. I need to put it straight. So yeah, no, because important is I have there, you know, I need to show you now. I have there this little antenna, and you need to make sure that this antenna points directly upwards and needs to be in the center of your head, in the crown chakra of your head, that all this, you know, that you're protected. First of all, on the other side, you are connected to the, you know, that you have this, and
you get the messages from outer space,
exactly.
from all the how are they called, the aliens, of course, aliens. No, from where are they? From Pleiades and so on.
Pleiaden, from the Lemurians,
Lemurians and
from everywhere, of course. Yeah, you only need to adjust the length here. You know, this is, you know, you make it a little longer, a bit more pointy, then it goes to Lemuria. And when you make it a little more blunt and short, then it goes to the Pleiades. Yeah, of course, you need to adjust it a little. It's old school. Yeah.
And if you have just no antenna, you will go to the Hottentots or something like that.
I don't know. I never tried it, but we can try it one day. Then we see where we end up. You rebel, you.
So, what we can say about conspiracies?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's always the best thing when you want to talk about a topic, you check first Wikipedia, right? And then you see Wikipedia, they make a definition.
The whole Wikipedia is a conspiracy, so you can't.
Well, you can see it like this, yes, of course. But at the end, it's something where everybody can have a look and can involve. What are you smoking now? A Rebel cigar?
Yes, a Rebel cigar.
Yeah. Jesus.
So I think we can separate the conspiracy theories in kind of headlines. So there are conspiracies about aviation, about business and industry, about death and disappearances, about economics and society, about espionage, about race and religion. About extraterrestrials and UFOs, you know, like.
I have no idea about it. Fine.
About, of course, a big thing is about government and politics, about medicine, about science and technology, about outer space, of course, about sports, and so on. And so, I don't know, should we go through in that order? Should we go?
Especially, it's interesting. I mean, I'm quite into it, but there are some not even I have an idea. So maybe you know something about it. So when I see in aviation, the first thing is directly black helicopters. And when I hear this, directly comes in mind this movie. It's a little older with Mel Gibson, where he was a taxi driver in New York.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was telling everybody about these conspiracy theories and that the black helicopters, the silent ones, they have a silent mode.
Murphy's Secrets, or how it was called, that movie, like that.
Yeah, I forgot the name, yeah. But it was quite good.
Yep.
So for this one, I only know it from this movie, so I don't know. But do you know something about black helicopters?
I don't know a lot about it. It came up in the 1960s in the United States, and originally the John Birch Society promoted it. And they said that the United Nations, the UNO force, would arrive in black helicopters to bring the United States under UN control. And in the 1990s, during the presidency of Bill Clinton, it has been promoted again by a talk show host. His name is Glenn Beck, and yes, and there are also kind of similar conspiracies about phantom helicopters in the United Kingdoms. They appeared probably in the 70s. I don't know. I don't know more about it, and that's what the conspiracy Wikipedia is saying about it.
Okay. If somebody knows something more about black helicopters, leave a comment down there.
Let us know. Let us know.
Of course,
I have seen them for at least one. I have seen in my life a black helicopter.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
So what's next? Do you have an idea?
Chemtrails.
Oh,
actual topic since a few decades. That some people say that when you see from the jets flying very high, then they leave this streak of this, this trail back there, that it's not condensation, that there are chemicals mixed into it to either reflect the sunlight because they are still afraid of global warming.
Yeah.
Others say that these materials work in conjunction with HARP, but this is another conspiracy theory. This big radar antenna thingy, HARP, with double A. With these, they are capable of sending information to these chemtrail layers in the sky. And with this, they say that they can manipulate even
the weather and something like that.
Weather animation and even mind control in a way. But even in America, they said that there is a proof that even in the 60s and 70s, they flew over some cities and sprayed some chemicals for test purposes.
I don't believe in that chemtrail conspiracy. But I surely believe in the fact that some plane spraying something. Because you have also this, this little plane spraying poison.
But they fly very close to the
agriculture. Yes. And everything possible, in my opinion, everything possible is tested somewhere at some time. So I don't know. I don't believe they spray some microchips and like to manipulate us with chemtrails, but of course I believe there were some incidents where airplanes sprayed something and tried to alter the weather or to change or to poison something. I don't know. Or as you said, aluminum particles to deflect sunlight back into space and so on. I think they tried it. What's your opinion?
It must have a reason that even Bill Gates said now that he wants to darken the sun because of global warming.
Yes. So just 1 year ago, he said there is about that. It's like that chemtrail theory, no? It's very similar. I think I don't like to go more into this aviation
stuff because
because there's, of course, that Korean airline flight 007 and that
James Bond on board 007.
MH370, the Malaysia Airlines, and MH17 and so on.
Yeah, we know that airplanes simply disappear sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
that they're supposed to crash in the soil and you don't find anything.
Yeah. Just, you know, there were in World War II, there were some planes crashed in the Sahara. They have found it 50 years later. So, or
yeah, but even when you see 9/11, this one plane which crashed somewhere outside, you see only like a big dug up hole, and then you see a wheel and an engine and a few small debris parts, but not the plane. So that's why it's always a little interesting.
And if you think about if one plane crashes into the Pacific Ocean, there are some routes there's nobody, no ship, no airplane. If they get off of their course, you never will find them.
Yeah, but don't they have a black box that you can find the black box somewhere?
I don't know, but if it's very deep water and it's longer than a month or 4 weeks or so, I don't know.
Runs out of battery, this thing.
Yeah. And I don't know if, you know, there are very deep places where the water is very deep. If it's 5,000 meters,
you don't get a signal anymore.
I don't know. I think so.
Okay.
So
good, fine. So we leave aviation. What do you want to talk about then?
I think the mother of the conspiracies is John F. Kennedy assassination. Is a big thing. Let me see. I don't know.
But funnily, in medicine, even COVID-19 pandemic, they have as a conspiracy theory. I mean, everybody knows that we have a COVID-19 pandemic. How can this be a theory?
So I guess if our viewers are interested in about this death and killing and disappearance conspiracies, there's a conspiracy about Abraham Lincoln's assassinations, about Martin Luther King's, about Isaac Rabin, about George S. Patton. That's coincidentally, I know about this. You know that General Patton was the head commander of the invasion of the Allies in World War II. You know, it was the overcommand. There was Montgomery, the English guy, and George S. Patton. And when World War II was over, he even rearmed SS troopers, German SS troopers, and said to the guys in Washington, now we have to go after the Russians, after Stalin. We defeated Hitler, but the other enemy is Stalin, and we have to go on with the war. And he died in Germany, in your state, in Bavaria, in a car accident. And there's a big conspiracy about they killed him because he liked to get next president, and then he would have fought the communists and so on. I don't know. Besides that, if you ever have the opportunity to watch the movie Patton, with George C. Scott featuring General Patton, wonderful movie. Yes, then there are conspiracies about the Princess Diana's death, about Kurt Cobain, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, Tupac, even about Mozart, John Lennon, Pope John Paul I, about everything. Every celebrity who is dying, there's an alternative narrative, I'd say. No.
Yeah, not everybody. I mean, some like Frank Sinatra or something, they simply died. Or like one of the old heroes.
Yes,
And the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
When they die, in a young age, if you die with 95, so there will be no conspiracy.
Yeah, but with Michael Jackson as example, there was an interview with him. He was on a stage and then he was talking about the music business, what dirty business this is, that they put him into, with all these fake stories that he goes with kids into bed and with his monkey and whatever that.
I don't know.
And then he said, look, you need to see this music business and it's not good and blah, blah, blah. But the people in the crowd, they simply applauded because they didn't listen. And shortly after he got sick and died. So there's always, there are some things are always a little fishy.
I don't know what is true about Michael Jackson. I don't know what is true about his pedophilia. For sure, he was a crazy guy. I think we can agree upon that. And the only thing I liked him was because he was a big fan of Elvis Presley.
Okay.
He even married his daughter, no? If you remember that. Yes, and there were also theories that Elvis Presley is still alive, his death was faked. Then there was one conspiracy that Adolf Hitler survived and went to Argentina, to South America, Chile, yes, or to Antarctica, or even to the moon.
Yeah, on the moon, nobody is still on the moon yet, so that's fine. It's another conspiracy theory, the moon landing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we will get to this conspiracy. So, economics and society, the new world order.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a if you do a little research about this, this Illuminati guys, Adam Weishaupt was where he was in Ingolstadt.
Ingolstadt, yeah.
In Germany.
And the other came from Augsburg. There was another one from Augsburg. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I guess it's proven that the Illuminati kind of secretly invaded the Freemasons because the Freemasons had a kind of network all around the world, so to say. And what's true for sure, there's no doubt about it, is that the French Revolution, there were kind of Freemasons and Illuminati involved. And they had the first kind of communist ideas to take away the aristocrats, to break the power of the church, of the Catholic Church. And what's also true is that George Washington and some of the founders of the United States were Freemasons, that Washington is laid out like a Freemason stuff. There's no doubt, and there's also no conspiracy about it. That's true. That's one thing. So a lot of conspiracies turned out to be true.
Fortunately for some, unfortunately for others. Yeah, in the New World Order, when you see it's even written on the dollar note, on the dollar bill, there's
it's
the pyramid and the all-seeing eye, and there's written New World Order, but only in Latin or something.
Yep.
So,
but I think one mistake the conspiracy theories sometimes making is that all these conspiracy guys wanted to make bad things. In fact, if you think about the American Constitution, it's a good thing. It's the most free and human-friendly constitution of all around the world. You have freedom of speech. You have the right, the Second Amendment, the right to own and to wear arms, and so in which country of the world the people are more free? So these were conspiracy guys, Freemasons, and you don't know, Illuminatis, but they did a good thing. That's the other side of this.
Yeah, it's a way. I mean, it's simply one stepping stone in a long way what they have planned for the one world government and the one world money. So the currency, that there's only one currency worldwide, there's only one government, that they centralize everything. So they started in the US to get them together, and then they started in the EU to get them together to centralize at least the five how do you call them?
I would have to prepare myself a little better than today, but you have to go back to research the Lunar Society in England, and I don't know, the Fabian Society. They were the first socialists. Also, for example, Charles Darwin's, I think, father or grandfather was in the Lunar Society. So they fought the church. I'm not a friend of the church, but of course, the evolution theory was a big affront to the church, because they think God made everything, and they say, oh no, it's just by coincidence, it's involved. Yeah. Complicated, but we can go into that stuff even more if you like to. Maybe in another feature, maybe
no problem.
We can do.
We have something easy.
Yeah, there's one. It's not long back in history, but there's a conspiracy about the Denver airport. I don't know if you have ever seen there. Crazy paintings inside the Denver airport, Denver, Colorado, in the United States. And there's a horse, and the horse sculpture killed the artist when he was just finishing it, and it's Masonic and satanic, and so who likes to do research in conspiracies can check out the Denver airport conspiracy. And there's a big conspiracy about George Soros.
The thing is, I last time I watched a video that a guy who posted something, and he simply mentioned the name Soros and Rothschild, and directly he was called anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And then he went to court, and this court proved him wrong. So they said, yes, you are guilty, you're an anti-Semitist, because you said Soros, and only because this name Soros could be in conjunction with Jews and blah, blah, blah. And then the court said, yeah, he is an anti-Semite because he only mentioned this name.
It's in my opinion that's not right, but because if George Soros would be Australian or Hungarian, in fact I think he's Hungarian. I'm a big fan of Harry Houdini, the magician. He was an Hungarian Jew. George Soros also was an Hungarian Jew, but he's manipulating with his big money, and that's no conspiracy.
He wrote even in his book that if you think that I manipulate governments and whatever, blah, 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 you are fully right, and I am proud of it. I mean, he said it by himself. So
he how to say it? How is it to say? Anyway, there's a famous interview, and his story. He should have been deported by the Nazis in World War II, and then he converted to Christianity, and he had a kind of mentor, a German, who took him like a son, and then this German made business with the gold and the stuff they took from the Jews in the concentration camps. And they asked him in the interview, George Soros, if he feels guilty about that, and so he's a Jew and he made money out of his Jew comrades and so on. It's a difficult thing. And what is not a conspiracy is that I don't know, in the 1990s or somewhere, he was kind of cracking the British currency with Wall Street, manipulations and so on. Currency manipulations. Yes, and then there's some. You have more about it, or
no,
do you have another one?
I mean, he wrote a book. It's everything written what he is doing, so it's not a secret. It's you only can read a book. It's like with Klaus Schwab, Great Reset. Read the book and you know what's going on.
But a big difference between Klaus Schwab and George Soros, in my opinion, is George Soros really puts billions and billions of dollars and euros into movements, into open society, into migration stuff, and so on. And that's true. And Klaus Schwab is just talking what his vision is for the future.
It doesn't.
But George Soros forces that stuff.
The one is a visionary, the other one is a maker.
Yeah. There's also another conspiracy about Freemasonry, because we talked about the Illuminati and Freemasonry, that everything is manipulated and steered by the Freemasons. I don't believe in that, to be honest.
They share some holistic wisdom. That's why they went free. I mean, they come from Masons. They worked as employees, but then they didn't like to, so they made some kind of. They went free and worked as freelancers, Masons, and they have a lot of wisdom regards, with the golden ratio and all these things, how these things work. Then they always secretly only gave it to the next one, and now they do it a bit more openly.
Yes, that's a kind of simple view.
No, of course. They don't want to overdo it here.
The Freemasons themselves connect them back to old Egypt and even further back to the Solomonian temple. It was Hiram, the architect, the master of building the Solomonian temple, and he was killed by his, I don't know, co-workers and so on. And they say they are having secrets from ancient times, and it's I guess it's like in every good religion, every good trick, there's an empty secret you sell. And I don't like to say that they don't have very good ideas, so humanity and so on. And if we go back to the US Constitution, these Freemasons did a good job. It is human. It is human friendly what they did. So I don't know.
But they are not rights. They are simply privileges. So this is all these. They can take them away easily, like in America, in Japanese, that all these Japanese family came into concentration camps, even if they were living their whole life in America, because their parents were Japanese.
Yes, but these were kind of crisis, however you like to put your view on it, but these were like of crisis situations. it was wartime. But when they made the American constitutions and give you the freedom of speech, gave you the freedom of speech, and gave you the Second Amendment, and so on and so on. You know, the state, the government has to trust you as a single individual, as a single person, that you are a good person. Not like in our societies in Germany and in Austria, where they say you can't have a firearm because maybe you're bad. In the United States, it's the opposite. They say
they think you're a good person unless you show that you're a bad person.
Yes, and that's the big difference to me.
Zweifel für den Angeklagten.
Yeah. In dubio, I don't know.
But this is what you get now. But how is now freedom of speech in America right now? With the fact checkers and with that simply getting banned on Facebook?
Yeah. But these are private companies. In the United States, there is freedom of speech.
Like Idi Amin said, right?
No, there is. But the private companies like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Google and so on, they are making
why do they do it?
Because they like to be, it's, I always say to my friend, it's so easy, it's like a honeypot to be a good person. Oh, of course you have to wear a mask, of course you have to protect your neighbor, of course you have to protect the climate and so on. And what? Oh, you don't like to? Oh, you like to kill animals? You are eating meat and so on. It is so easy to be a moralistic saint, and that's the core of it. And all these big tech companies like Google and so on, and Facebook, they, you have to check it out. It's kind of another conspiracy. How is it called in California? This Silicon Valley. All these guys like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and what's the name of the Twitter guy? I don't know. I don't remember. They all went to the same ashram in India. They all have a kind of vision, but they are kind of devils in disguise. They're talking good, like the communists, like the socialists. If the socialists or the Green Party, if they say you don't like to save the ice bear babies, of course I like to save the ice bear. You don't like to have justice for everybody is the same, and there's everybody has the same right, and women are just like men and so on. Of course women are like men, no problem, of course. There's always the good thing. You can't say anything against it. If you say anything against it, you are the bad guy, you're a Nazi. If you say, but it's not true. The ice bear babies there are more ice bear babies than in the 1970s. And that's why are they going to the villages in Siberia and in Alaska. And they don't drowning in the sea. Then you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's
like it is.
There's a big conspiracies about UFOs and extraterrestrials, Roswell.
No, but it's not a conspiracy. Now they, at the hype of the pandemic, they admitted that they had contact to UFOs, but nobody really took notice because they were all busy with wearing masks, getting the vaccination.
They took notice and they talk about it, but this TikTok video, from the TikTok UFO from the jet fighter. It's not enough. I don't know. But if they show us the bodies of the Roswell aliens.
On the other side, UFO only means unidentified flying object, and
it don't mean extraterrestrial.
You can now go back again to Second World War. They said that even Adolf was already on it, developing flying saucers.
What is true, and I did research on that, is that it's not only outer space extraterrestrials. The Germans, the Nazis had mediums. They were beautiful women. You can check it out on Google. They had long hair up to the ground, down to the ground, and they tried to contact interdimensional entities. That's true. That's true. And it was not Hitler, it was Himmler who was the esoteric guy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's why even all Hitler's Autobahn, they're all on these ley lines, on these energy lines. They're energy lines.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but they are there.
Maybe. And they had they were kind of two-faced. They prohibited that esoteric dowsing, that pendling and with this wooden fork. Yes, it's dowsing, I think it's called. On the other hand, they took out from the concentration camps famous dowsers and spiritualists and put them into their it was called, how was it called? Ahnenerbe. It was a kind of subdivision of the SS, and everything you see in Indiana Jones. They made an expedition to Tibet to find that very first Aryans, and it's all connected to Madame Blavatsky's ideas of a higher race residing in a big mountain in Tibet. These are the old masters, and H.P. Lovecraft's horror stories are connected to this. That they are old masters from the universe, and they know everything, and they're steering the world and so on. If one is interested in this, I would recommend to do research on the Theosophic Society. And out of this Theosophic Society came Aleister Crowley, who made his OTO order, and then it went really crazy, because there was a guy named, I think his name was Parson or something, and he was good friend with Werner von Braun, who was a German Nazi who founded the NASA program in the United States. And this Parson guy was the US branch of Aleister Crowley's OTO. They searched for the Scarlet Woman and like to inseminate the Scarlet Woman to get a moon child. And that Parson guy invented the rocket fuel for the Saturn program and so on. And at every rocket launch, he made a kind of ceremony for, I don't know, Pan or some old god. There's where high tech and esoteric and magic and craziness meets. And if you like to check this out, that Parson, wonderful crazy guy, Aleister Crowley, wonderful crazy guy. They fucked goats and sheep and everything. It's crazy, really crazy.
It depends from the point of view.
Yes, if it's a beautiful goat.
I mean, you see it even with Adolf, the swastika he used, which we can't use now anymore because it's such a bad sign. But when you see in China, in all temples, you see always these burners, these incense burners, and they all have the swastika cut in. So because it's an old symbol, he was only using it, and now it's a bad symbol all of a sudden.
And I mean, that's a big problem. That's a big problem because nowadays we have a kind of same thing. Nowadays, the rainbow symbol is occupied. So I like to wear a shirt in rainbow colors, or I don't know. So you understand, and that's a wrong thing because think back about that how was that ship Rainbow Warrior. The name Rainbow Warrior would mean today something completely different than back then when they named their ship Rainbow Warrior. There were not just gays and lesbians on the ship and trans people, but so Adolf Hitler occupied this swastika, and he even occupied. That's what I said last time to Munehiro. Be happy to be able to be proud of your ancestors, because if we are talking about the old Germans and the German tribes and they fought the Romans and so on, then they will say you're Nazi. So that's also a thing Hitler occupied. You can't talk about the old Germans and the German tribes and how strong they were and good warriors. They say, oh, you're Nazi. And that's the same with the swastika and with the rainbow flag or rainbow symbol. You know, a rainbow belongs to everyone. Everyone can see that rainbow. They occupy it just for their gay movement, or I don't know.
Yeah. It's even the same with the term Holocaust. Didn't exist in the times when the Holocaust happened.
Of course not.
They didn't have this word. It's an American invention which came way later, only to make us feel bad for the rest of our life. What we did, I mean, I did nothing because I was born way too late.
Yes, but that's a kind of, I'm sorry, stupid, because of course in the time where it happened, they didn't name it like that. Of course not.
Yeah, why not? I mean, ethnical cleansing is ethnical cleansing or whatever. You have a name for it, but this name, which is now the Holocaust memorial here and the Holocaust there.
The thing I like to criticize, it's a very thin ice we are walking on.
Always.
But the Nazis, they don't had a special hate against Jews. They put different persons in their camps, concentration camps. They put socialists inside, they put gays inside, they put some other religion, you know, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, or they put a lot of people inside their concentration camps. And now the narrative is, yes, they like to wipe out the Jews. Not only the Jews, everyone who was against their ideas or against their state, or you know, like it is in every regime. It's the same in the Stalin regime, in the Mao regime. When you like to have your neighbor's wife or his garden, you are going to the politcommissar and say, oh, you know, I don't think he's on our pass, I don't know. And so they check out and he will be deported. You fuck his wife, you get his garden and his house. And that's where it is. That's like it is.
Sure.
I'm sure. So where are more conspiracies? Do you know something, some more? One of the biggest, I think the biggest is is the Kennedy assassination, and the second one is the 9/11, of course. Yeah. And I don't know about 9/11. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 3 buildings collapsed, 2 planes flew in it, but all 3 buildings collapsed in exactly the same way, like you see when they demolish an old building and want to get rid of it, a controlled demolition. And
have you? I wrote it to you. Have you seen how this building in Florida just 2 weeks?
Yeah, look the same.
Look the same.
Boom, boom, boom,
yes, like it was an explosion, but it was definitely not an explosion in that case.
What they say.
You know, I told you today the story with the little spring in my shoe and so on. So everything can happen.
Of course.
And I'm also very about the building number 7. Oh, I don't know. It's crazy, but I think it can happen. I don't think. But the other thing is, what was the science, the cause of, if they made this up?
A few. It's not only one reason, has a few reasons, but only to show. There are videos out of crash tests of planes. You know, they let the plane slide on the ground and then there's only a lamp post. And the plane crashes against the lamppost with the wing and the wing gets cut off.
Yeah.
Like you go with a knife through butter.
Yeah.
And then you see the steel construction of these buildings. They are made to withstand an impact of a plane. And this plane goes in completely. It doesn't even lose an engine or the tail or something. It simply gets and disappeared in, you know.
I understand it. I've watched numbers and numbers of videos about that. But I think it can happen.
And then even in the first life, where the first plane went in, the editor did a bad job because you saw the nose of the plane coming out on the other side. But they had a little delay and then they had time. And then the next one, you saw then the plane only go in, disappear, and you didn't see the nose because they had a bad overlay in their
I don't know.
FX war. And it was a blue sky, and all of a sudden everything was cloudy and dusty because it was easier for the editors to. There is so many things wrong. And then why did building number 7 collapse? There was no plane.
I don't know. I'm honest.
And why did so many people hear explosions before a plane? They didn't even hear a plane.
Yeah.
So,
but on the other hand, you know,
when you add up and connect the dots, and why Silverstein rented these 2 buildings and had an insurance about if a sudden something like this occurs, and that they are full of asbestos, and that the renovation of this asbestos would have cost billions, would have been cheaper to break them down. But of course, even breaking down a building like this is not so easy nowadays because of the asbestos. So what do you do? And on the other side, directly, they had a reason with Obama.
So just a moment. So when you are saying the buildings were too old and insurance and so on, and so they had to explode them and destroy them. So why don't destroy them? Why don't?
Because when you go there, when you own this building and you want to destroy it, then they tell you, listen, this building is full of asbestos. And then you still need to have all these safety measurements, you know, that you need to wear mask and full closure. And then every screw needs to be watered until you get out of this. You can't simply bomb it away.
Were there asbestos?
Yeah. And this whole building was almost empty at the time. They had only 40% rented out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe they were on the moon.
No.
I don't believe. I think there is something wrong with 9/11, but I don't think it was a complete conspiracy. I think it's true with the insurance and with some stuff they are telling us it's true, but I don't know. on the other hand, I also know the story that the Bush family was friend with the Osama bin Laden family and so on. It's a very crooked story. A very crooked story.
Bin Laden was on the payroll of the FBI for years. They founded
but
him.
That don't mean anything. I'm sure they have mafiosi guys on the payroll. Of course.
And sometimes they need a victim, or he was not following orders. That's okay. Now he is the one. Boom.
Yep. What is another conspiracy?
Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Robin Hood conspiracy.
What is the Robin Hood conspiracy?
Yeah, that there was this guy fighting the rich, giving the money to the poor. He was an outstanding archer.
I wouldn't call that a conspiracy. I would say it's like, and if you do research and you really get into old sagas, and the Nibelungen and Edda and that old Nordic sagas and so on, it's like that.
There was a person, most probably.
Yeah, there was an outlaw. The rest was
all built around this one.
Yeah. And they put more stories on him. I think in the former show I explained it. These were like poems. It was Robin Hood and the butcher and Robin Hood and the postman or something like that. And it was one poem was one adventure, like a kind of ballad. And it became, it's like a Robin Hood stunt this guy did, and so on. And it also connects all the ingredients of a good story. Robin Hood was fighting against the rich ones, giving to the communist story, if you like, so take from the rich and give it to the poor. And that Richard Lionheart was made up later, was put into the story later, and they know very well when Maid Marian first appeared, or Tuck, or Little John, and so on, or Ellen Dale, all these features, all these characters you have in the stories and in the movies, they came into the story step by step, and they know, in that century they put in this feature and so on. So
an ongoing saga.
There are court acts from the 12 to 1300s, I don't know, where a guy by the name Robin Hood, or Robin Hood, or how they call it, was an outlaw. But if he did all this stuff, or it was made up during the centuries, but after all, you have to look upon the Robin Hood story, in my opinion, like an old saga. It's a kind of hero figure who went through his adventures and so on.
It's like with Wilhelm Tell, then the same, or was this the story behind Wilhelm Tell?
I think so. I don't think Wilhelm Tell ever really existed. And if he existed, he did not that Gessler head thing, and so I don't think so. But every good I don't know.
Every nation had a famous archer, almost, so to say.
Yes, and with Wilhelm Tell, it's different. He's kind of founding the Switzerland. It's the founding idea, because I think after Wilhelm Tell they made this pact. I don't know, the Eidgenossen. I don't know it in English, and so on. Yeah. Switzerland is, of course, it is a conspiracy in itself. Switzerland.
I mean, why did Adolf not go through Switzerland?
Why did Napoleon don't go to, you know? There's a conspiracy theory about the Templars founded Switzerland. And they also connected to the Swiss flag with the white cross on the red ground. They say, okay, the Templar, the red cross on the white ground, and so on. I don't know. So do you think our viewers like our conspiracy?
I have no idea.
Shit.
I don't think. Maybe we see. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we should do a different show, just talking about a little about politics or about
that we do this news and then talk about conspiracy on an extra channel, not on the archery channel. Yes.
Yes, because we will both anger the archers. They like to know why we are that good archers and how it can be that we have such a wisdom about it.
I'm not a good archer, so maybe you're a good archer. But yes, okay.
I'm a good archer. Yesterday, I went out and shot for the first time since one. I don't like to tell it,
but you started now, so tell us.
Yes, I think for 1 year.
It's interesting. It's especially interesting for the people. Sometimes you. Like with this target panic, either you do too much or you don't do enough, or you shoot good and you think, okay, it's enough, or you stop shooting for a reason, and then you feel maybe bad about it. Explain this. When did you stop shooting and when did you start shooting again?
I started shooting in 1990. And I was enthusiastic, I shot every day and so on. And if you do it over years and years, like with love, it went down a little. So, okay.
It wears out? No, it doesn't have to. You have to keep it interesting, then you simply learn thumb release and a whole new world opens up.
As long as I was the president of that local archery club, and I always have to invent something new for the 3D shot and some new rules and some new ideas, and so on. And then I quitted that, and then I went into show archery. I like to become a famous archer, and I found out like how that works, and then I shot once a week, twice a week.
But Peter, would it be an interesting topic that once we are only us two, that you simply tell how to become a famous archer?
Yeah, I looked for my notices because once I made a list how to become a famous archer.
And we make it once if people.
I will search for it. I will search on for it, and
you just moved. You had everything in your hands, so you should know where it is now.
Yeah, but I couldn't find it.
But why did you stop shooting now? When did you stop shooting? How long ago? What was your last arrow you shot?
No, it was like that. After the first honeymoon, 20 years of honeymoon shooting and doing, and then I went into that. I like to become a famous archer business, and then. Of course, I trained. I shot once a week, twice a week. But then I just trained when they asked me for something. They said, can you hit a falling water drop? And I said, of course I can hit it, but I have to train it, especially that thing. Or with China, when they said, we are talking about falling rings and so on. And so I trained especially this stuff, and I checked. Or when we talked off camera about Valerie, my former girlfriend, and I had an arrangement and an engagement in Vienna with the pictures I have with the Robin Hood costume, and so. There was no possibility to shoot on that place because there were 5,000 people around and it was not possible to shoot there. And I thought, okay, if I can't shoot, I don't have to go there because just wearing the Robin Hood suit and walking like the
Everybody
gay guy
can do that, yeah.
with green tights, and so I don't have to do it.
Yeah,
and then
like cross dress a bit. Huh?
And then I found out. Then I came to the idea with that, that arrow stopping net. They Valerie wore it like a veil. And two helpers carry, one on the left and one on the right, carried it, a white arrow stopping net, and then they unfolded the net, and Valerie put a heart-shaped balloon in the middle of that, and I developed special arrow points, that kind of rubber plant points, and on the very tips outside, I put in very short wire nails. So in no way this tip could go through that netting.
But will explode the balloon. Yeah.
Yes, even if I just scratch the balloon, it would explode. And that's when there was a kind of challenge to say, nobody is able to shoot at that place, but I'm able to.
Yeah.
Now I'm making new arrow points who are 100% sure. It was funny. There were very celebrity peoples from Vienna and so, and they said, will you really shoot at that place? And so I said, of course I will. It's not dangerous. And I said, no, if you sit tight on your chair, if you don't move, nothing can happen. Nothing can happen. Yes. So what I want to say is, if there was a kind of challenge, I trained a lot, and I found out now new ideas, or that show I missed last year because of Corona in Italy with the free climber wanting to climb up on my arrows. So I had to find which kind of points, which kind of arrows. I have to use aluminum arrows and so on. That's what fires me, what gives me energy, and then I start to shoot again. And the other thing, I stopped because I moved from the house to this place, and so I know
So when did you shoot now your last arrows before you started yesterday? When was your last arrow?
I don't remember. I think 1 year ago, about
1 year ago.
Maybe at an archery school there, I'm always making one shot. I put on a balloon and I talk to the people and say it's easy like that, bam, and I'm shooting at the balloon. They say, maybe like that.
So 1 year ago. And yesterday you started again. How did you feel in this 1 year? Did you miss it sometimes that you think?
No. Yes. Sometimes I thought, I like to shoot. And so. But yesterday, I strung my bow. I put my back quiver on a nice hard Howard Hill Gaff.
Ooh, yeah.
Started from 6 meters because I thought maybe I'm not able to shoot anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. 18 arrows were my quiver, and I shot, and then I walked 2 steps back, like I always tell. Again, I shot, I think, 4 quivers, and all the arrows were like that, and I was happy.
So you felt good afterwards?
Very good.
Good. So now you set up, so you will practice now a little, or shoot a bit.
Yeah, I let the foam targets here out, and it's very. Sometimes I will make a video and show this place.
Good idea.
Yeah.
See, when I have the urge to shoot, I always have a bow here on my desk.
Oh.
See that? 2 safety pins, 2 safety needles.
It's your string broke.
Yeah, this is old tooth dental floss.
It's your bed bow, no?
Yeah, this is my bed one. Yeah, I made a few more. Yeah, I need to string it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand once you shoot your lifetime, you don't have this drive anymore to shoot. Only when you have challenged for something, or you want to try something new, then you think, I need to try this now.
When there's an adventure ahead.
Exactly.
When I travel hunting to Tennessee with Byron Ferguson. Okay, then you're making your arrows and broadheads, and you're trying everything, and you put on a game target, and you practice. And so without a challenge or without an adventure ahead,
was writing the book a challenge that you had to shoot sometimes to test something when you wrote your books? Did you think about, okay, how would this be? Is it possible or something?
I tried other things. That what's in my book, that thing you lift your arms and you throw the arrow out of the quiver. That's what I tried. Is it possible? Okay. I put in some 6 broadhead arrows in my quiver and the foam target, and I made this, and it works. Of course, it works.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now you are back on track, shooting some arrows. Good.
Yeah, and I will. I'm back in.
And I need to ask now publicly, how is the effort with the English translation of your books going on?
I'm on it. I'm into it.
A bit more detail, please. I'm on it is not enough. You will write every day 1 hour, 1.5 hours on it?
No, just let me look. I'm on, with the first book, I'm on page 90.
Of how many pages?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many. Oh, let me look what because the English of 195. So I have 100 pages left
to go.
So I'm quite.
But when you do every day 1 hour, 1.5 hours, you're really quickly through it.
I do.
I think people really wait for it, for the English version.
Yeah, I know.
Don't let them wait too long. You know, when people are hot and they want something, you need to.
Yeah, they cool down, and then
they are not interested anymore, and then you bring it, and then.
You have to use the drive, the energy of the people.
The momentum.
Yeah. I understand this.
Good, fine. All your rebel head doesn't help. You need to write it. Nice. Now, at least you're back and shooting some arrows. That's fine.
Yeah. And once again, when I shot this bow, a Howard Hill legend stick bow from hardened, made from baked bamboo, and 2 white glass laminations.
It's a pretty bow,
yeah. And I thought, oh,
but it's a little too weak for you. It's almost 50 pounds. It would something for me, you know.
You're right.
But you don't want to get rid of.
You will get one. You will get one. Yeah. And I thought, oh, that's a most enjoyable bow to shoot. I have here a Korean bow. It's always strung. But it's not the same.
Why don't you unstring your bow?
This Korean one I don't unstring, because it's so difficult to string. And I think it don't get damaged. No.
It's a fiberglass bow. I don't know.
Wow, I don't know. Yeah. Yes, I will talk to Craig Eakin soon about the bow for you. We have to check.
$180 shipping from America.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's
no. I would have one for you, made by Nate Steen. Very nice bow. It's about 60 pounds.
It's too much for me. I mean, I can shoot 60 pounds, but not many arrows. My shoulder starts hurting.
Yeah.
And from my accident, it never really healed properly, and then it's not enjoyable.
Yep. Okay, so I hope we
bored them to death today.
Yeah, or I hope we amused our viewers, but they have to look forward. As we said, maybe we are making another channel and talking about this stuff, and we will go back to archery in this channel more.
It's all said about archery.
What we have to say is 3 days of this week we tried to get Jorge Perales from Peru to talk about Amazonian archery and Peruvian archery. He's a policeman, a criminal policeman, crime policeman, and so he was not able to join us, but we will have him.
Because the bad people don't stop and give him time that he
yes, I guess he has to walk with a pump gun through the city of Lima and wipe out the bad guys, so we can't talk bad about him.
No.
And we will get him, and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone fighting.
We have a few more interested ones. They're coming, so
yeah. Maybe we will get Cherry Hill. And who knows? What about your beautiful Jess and?
I don't know. We will ask her again.
We need more women in the show because of this female.
I bring the women. You bring the hunters. Fine.
Yeah. Because we have to talk more about. I'm happy to look forward to asking Jorge about female hunters in the Amazonian.
Female warriors.
Amazonians.
Amazons. And we need to know exactly details if they really cut off the left boobie that they could shoot.
Yeah.
All these myths we need to debunk, of course, obviously.
Of course, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So.
Okay. May we leave it for today?
Well done.
See you next week. I wish I could
say next week. And
signing out.
Stay strong. Stay like you are. Fight the evil.
So, this is always a question. What is evil?
The communists are evil.
Why?
Because they like to tell you how you have to live.
Okay, then.
Okay.
See you next time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Write in the comments if you want to know something about these conspiracy theories or not, or yes, or whatever. Yes. Simply talk.
Subscribe to our channel, to my channel.
Yes.
And also to Armin's, of course. And
please, it's fine.
Watch it, and watch it not just one time, watch it 2 times, because it's such a
watch it once on my channel, and then you watch it on Peter's channel.
A big amount of wisdom in this.
Too much for one time watching.
You have to take it twice.
Exactly, and it's best to watch it once on my channel, once on your channel.
Yes. Yeah,
makes sense.
That's
right?
a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah.
So watch it twice.
Yeah.
Good.
Good night. Goodbye, friends.
Thank you very much for watching.
Have a nice time.